So I got to give Kelsey Mitchell some props. I have to give Kelsey Mitchell some props because her game makes no sense to me. It confuses the heck out of me. And when she catches the ball with more than 10 seconds to go in the offense, something crazy is going to happen. When she is allowed to dribble the ball 3 times, something crazy is going to happen. But when she plays her most effective way, she's unbelievable. And it doesn't matter when she touches the ball. It doesn't matter if she doesn't touch the ball for 2 or 3 offenses. She's going to do the same thing. She is one of a kind. Kelsey, the offense stops here, Mitchell, is a decent name for her. But what she is playing in the role, when Caitlin Clark's dominating the ball, the role that Kelsey Mitchell is playing makes the Fever team unguardable. And without Kelsey Mitchell there, this team doesn't click offensively. The team's being well correlates with her playing well. And the more Caitlin Clark is running the show, the more efficient she is. But before we get on, if you guys are new to the channel, subscribe. We are trying to hit, if we're trying to 22k, we've already done that. If we hit 22,009 subscribers, that'd be incredible. Even one more today, that'd be incredible. But the thing is, when it comes to Kelsey Mitchell, is you have got a player that shoots or drives every time. Like, she will not pass the ball unless it is a last case scenario. And sometimes you're just kind of hoping that she doesn't pass the ball because she's going to do something wild with the ball. But she is the top scorer on this team for a reason. She is one of the most efficient scorers in the WNBA. At times. And ironically, when Christy Sides is playing the Christy Sides old WNBA system, she becomes one of the least efficient scorers in the league. When they play the Caitlin Clark system, she becomes the single most efficient guard scorer in this league, including Kennedy Carter, because a lot of her shots count for 1 extra point. She's seen here 17.1 points per game. You look at her last couple of games. She had 28 against the Mercury. Again, ironically, 28 and 0 assists. 15 against the Mystics, where she was terrible against the Mystics. But look at this. She was 6 of 6 from 2, 0 of 8 from 3. Madness. She had 14 and 23 against the Aces. Like, Kelsey Mitchell, it does not matter who is on your team. It genuinely doesn't matter who she's up against. It doesn't matter who she's playing with. You could put Kelsey Mitchell into an NBA game, and you could have LeBron James, Stephen Curry, Klay Thompson, or even not even LeBron as a shooter. You could have her driving to the basket with Steph Curry, Klay Thompson, Kevin Durant, and Kyle Korver, prime Kyle Korver, all spotting up, all wide open, and she could have 5 players on her. She's still going to dribble around in a circle and shoot the ball. That's just her game. So, to start off the game, and this is why it was so frustrating watching the start of the game, because when she catches the ball, when they go to her, she's terrible. Like, when they dribble down the floor, and 99% of the time it's Erica Wheeler, or when they dribble and make the entry into the post player outside the 3-point line, and they throw the ball to Kelsey Mitchell and let her go dribble. I'm going to run in circles. I'm going to shoot these step backs. Yay, I'm shooting this ball. Brick. But when Kelsey Mitchell plays in that left corner, when Caitlin Clark is going downhill right, it is a pick your poison. And a lot of the time they're leaving her open. They have to make a decision because they have to show some sort of a hedge to Caitlin. They have to show some sort of a hedge, and because they do free up that side of the floor quite a bit. A lot of the time, Lexi Hull will kind of come more out to the middle. Aaliyah Boston will be down a short roll, and then you've got Katie Lou normally on the wing, or Kelsey Mitchell on the wing, or Katie Lou in the corner with their 5. And Alyssa Smith kind of plays the same position that Katie Lou does. Sometimes Katie Lou's trailing the play. But off that pick and roll, it's pick your poison. You've got to show some sort of a hedge to Caitlin Clark because you don't want her to turn and go downhill and go to the basket. So then the ball, a lot of the time, gets split on the screen. Aaliyah Boston's there. And then Aaliyah Boston either has a layup or help has to come from somewhere. If it comes from Katie Lou, sometimes they'll run out at her and she'll kick to the corner for Kelsey Mitchell. Sometimes there'll be 2 defenders running to Kelsey Mitchell. She'll go fake, 1-2 dribbles in. The ball gets to Aaliyah Boston, sometimes a short roll. Kelsey Mitchell cuts. So her mentality is, I am scoring no matter what. That is her mentality on the court. And when somebody has that mentality, you cannot make them the first option, especially when their efficiency drops so much off a second dribble. She's the best isolation scorer on the team, but the more dribbles she takes, the less efficient she becomes. And it's never been as obvious in life. I don't think it's been as obvious as it has been with Kelsey Mitchell, that her efficiency tanks as soon as she takes a second, third dribble. So when it comes to her, you're like, okay, this is what she's going to give us. How can we make her effective? That's the way you have to look at this, and how can we make her effective? When she is the third option, weak side, get it on a rotation, get it on the rotation or the skip or something where it goes from one side of the floor to the other, and the defensive players are moving at her. She's too quick and she finishes too well. She's burning them with her first step and she's going to the basket. When she can do that, she's unbelievable. She's unguardable. And she is one of the most important parts of this team. Defensively, she's been so much better as well. I know she obviously got the block at the end of the game, but like, you can't just judge by steals and blocks. If you judge by steals and blocks, Caitlin Clark is an unbelievable defender, and she's not very good. She has gotten so much better. Look, she's not a good defender, but she was like laughably bad for a lot of this season. She has gotten so much better on the defensive end. And in the Caitlin Clark-centric system, she is the main scorer. Because it is pick your poison. And teams are now deciding Kelsey Mitchell's the player we're not going to put pressure on. And then she's so good at shooting from three that they have to run out at her. And she's very, very good at attacking closeouts. But when you get her the ball in the wing first time like Christy Sides does, there's no closeout. She's just isolating somebody and she shoots a bad shot. She is what she is. She is what she is. Is she good at catching the ball? No. She's the worst player I've ever seen at catching the ball. She sometimes, like, her brain sometimes moves too fast for her body. She's thinking so quick. She's thinking like 2-3 steps ahead that sometimes she makes mistakes. She is an extremely error-prone player. But I'm telling you right now, like, look, Christy Size does not know how to use Kelsey Mitchell. Like, straight up, she doesn't know how to use her. She's running to Kelsey Mitchell to start an offense. That is idiotic. That is brain dead. That is why she shoots 3 of 11 in the first half. Because when she's attacking closeouts or on wide open catch and shoot shots, she is extremely efficient. When she goes dribble, and tries to ISO, she's extremely inefficient. And Christy Sides decides, let's put players where they're weak. Let's put players in their weaknesses. And which is, it's just idiotic. It's just absolutely idiotic. Like, they have a severe Christy Sides problem. She has a Christy Sides problem. Caitlin Clark has a Christy Sides problem. The team just has a severe, severe Christy Sides problem that I don't know when it gets any better, when it's going to get better. But you've got to give props to Kelsey Mitchell. Like, she's, like, when I made a video about Boston, talking about how Boston, like, really she's adapted her game and how she's, like, been exceptionally good with adapting her game. But Kelsey Mitchell is what she is. She is going to shoot every single time she touches the ball. She might pass 4 times in an entire match. She is Kelsey, the offense stops here, Mitchell. And that is like what the Denver Nuggets do with Michael Porter Jr. You do not give him the ball early, but he is your best late in the shot clock scorer, other than maybe Jokic. You don't give her the ball early in an offense unless it's in transition. You get her the ball on the weak side to attack a closeout. With 5 seconds to go in the shot clock, you give her the ball because she is the best scorer in that scenario. And she is going to give you buckets. That's all she's going to give you. That's all she's going to give you is buckets. And it's the coach's job to put her in a position that she's most efficient. Unfortunately, the coach is regularly taking her out of the position to be efficient and putting her in the position she's terrible at. But again, her attitude is never going to change because she mightn't touch the ball for 6 possessions. If she catches it in a 7, she's doing the exact same thing as if she touches the ball all 7 possessions. She literally is just, I would love to have that confidence. She is just a gunner. She is a gunner who will shoot every time she touches it. I've said that 100 times. But when she's used right, which is when Caitlin's dominating the ball, she is an all-star. When she's used wrong, which is what Christy Sides wants her to do, she is a detriment to her team. And I will say the same thing about Caitlin Clark. When Christy Sides uses Caitlin Clark wrong, she's worse than Erica Wheeler.